we're bringing home the bacon.
Only shooting stars break the mold.
Hello everybody and welcome to Brawl Stars. I'm Amy the Amazonian and today I'm playing some Selesnya Hate-Bears with Yasharn, Implacable Earth. Yasharn is a 4-mana creature that on its own is not too crazy. It gets you an forest and it gets you a plains, so you know you get some extra land in hand. But it also has a text of players can't pay life or sacrifice non-land permanents to cast spells or activate abilities, which means that Yasharn is the anti-sacrifice card. Specifically, I'm playing this deck now because fetch lands have been added to Arena, which means you can stop your opponent from activating their fetch lands, from fetching their lands with this card. That is why I'm choosing to play Yasharn right now. And this deck is chock full of things that tell your opponent, well, if you want to do that, maybe you have to pay a little more mana. Maybe you need to do it only once per turn. It's a pretty cool deck because it's full of Hate-Bears, creatures that can prevent things. But because we also have a bit of a lands theme, thanks to Yasharn being an elemental, I've also thrown in a couple things that care about lands. Things that trigger when lands enter the battlefield. And also some big ramp targets because, shucks, I mean, we're playing Yasharn, we're getting lands whenever he dies and comes back, so we may as well have even more. This deck also has a couple Praetors in it, because there's a theme of Praetors saying, I get twice as much and you get half as much. In this case, Yasharn says, I get double the enter to battlefields, you get none. Vorinclex says, I get 2 mana from my lands and you can only tap yours every other turn. Things like that are really good with Yasharn to kind of keep our opponent in line while we lay out our own game plan. This is a pretty cool deck, though. It's mostly got creatures in it. You can build it a bit more like built around enchantments, but I like creatures, so lots of those. We've got some card draw based around creatures, and we also have some cards that you might not expect, like Defense of the Heart. I wanted to get a whole bunch of different like punishment cards in this, and Defense of the Heart seems like a funny one. This deck does not have a way to win off the 2 creatures, but ideally with Defense of the Heart, you're just grabbing Hoof if it does win you the game, or maybe the pair of Praetors if it doesn't, because they're still really, really good cards. And by pair of Praetors, I mean probably like Yasharn and Vorinclex. It could be this Yasharn. Shucks, there's a lot of good cards. You can even get the Hate-Bear that specifically hates out whatever your opponent is trying to do. So we're going to take Yasharn into the queue, and we're going to play the Big Pig. Urza, Lord Protector. This guy's playing artifacts and probably some instants and sorceries. This is the Meld Urza that gives you discounts. But the things that they probably want to discount is this. Non-creatures. So I'm going to try to get this Thalia down on turn 2, so we can make their stuff cost a little more. Only downside is that, well, they can still play their commander. And their commander is bigger than Thalia, so they'll be able to block. I'll swing in for 2. Throw down the Tireless Tracker. There's a couple things in this deck that seem kind of like non-bows, because we can't, for example, sacrifice a clue while we have Yasharn out. We also can't sacrifice treasures. But that's fine, because we'll still have them for whenever Yasharn eventually dies. Swing it in. They did not play their commander. I'm wondering if they have like a kill spell or a counter spell here. You know, I think you do have a kill or counter spell, so I'm just not going to play Yasharn. I'll draw a card. Make my Tireless Tracker a little bit bigger. Ooh, the Haywire Might! Hey, if you've got non-creature things, got the Might, take them out. Again, a card that sacrifices, so we do have to be careful about the timing with Yasharn. I know, there's a lot of things in this deck that are stopped by our own commander, but it's worth it. I don't have a need for more lands here, so we'll just keep throwing these things down. They can't have enough mana for the Wandering Emperor because of Thalia. Thank you, Thalia. We love you, Thalia. Okay. I'll still draw a card. I like drawing cards. Cool, 2 playables. Love that for us. I'll throw down the Mighty Might and Avacyn's Pilgrim. Unfortunately, now we're a lot further away from the Great Henge. That henge was going to be so great. They could still throw an entire castle at me. The seat of the Empire! Hi, Teferi. Who are you bouncing back into hand? Thalia? Okay, I'll play her again. I'm also going to attack Teferi to get him off the board because I do not want him here. And since I got 4 extra mana, yeah, sure, I'll get 2 more lands in hand. One of these and one of those. It's a pretty good henge. It's a pretty good henge. It'd be better if I could play it. I could play it next turn. Hi, Urza. So Urza now negates Thalia by discounting the things that she's taxing for the most part. It's not like guaranteed. 1 henge, please. Mother, may I? No, I mayn't. Dang. Swinging with Yasharn, since he's a big chunky 4-4. 4-4 boar. And opt! Scry and draw. It's not a very great henge if I can't actually get it out. I have this beside you in hand in case these are causing us some trouble. Swinging in with Yasharn again. Soul Partition. Oh, okay. It gets exiled. We do not move it to the command zone because we can play it again. And now they're washing it away. Okay, now we'll move it to the command zone. Great. Yasharn! Again. Chemist's Insight. Oh, they're drawing cards, eh? I'm getting even more lands. I don't even need them at this point. But once we draw some of our big scary stuff, we'll be super ready for it. I'm also going to throw down Archon of Emeria. This is a symmetrical lockout card. I pay the 1, Urza. Urza, buddy, sweetie, I had 1 more mana. We can each only play 1 per turn. But, you know, that's fine. That's not so fine. 1 ring means I can't deal any damage to them next turn. Boo. Have an Eternal Wanderer. It's been vetoed! Dovin's the vetoed! At least they're losing life. Wrath of God! Really? Okay. Unfortunately, that means I don't have an opportunity to use the Haywire Might to exile this because I would have had to sacrifice it. Move my commander to the command zone. Gain 3 life. Okay. I will lead with Redain. Reading Rainbow. Come on, let her down. Tax those big non-creature spells. What do you want to do? Draw a card? Yeah, Haywire Might actually is a bit of a counter to 1 ring. That's why it's in the deck. And Yasharn. More lands. I feel like I might have a few too many. But we're thinning our deck. Every time Yasharn comes down, that's 2 fewer basics in our library. They don't know that we also happened to draw these 3 lands. That's just unfortunate. Hour of Revelation! Dang, that fully taps them out. They had to pay an extra 2 for it. Oh, sure. Pock. Pock is going to be dummy thick. Dummy thick and doubles lands. Hey, Pock. I figured Pock is a good enough card. A 4-mana Marrow. And since we're getting all these lands, it gets us even more. They have a blocker on board with Hall of Storm Giants or Cave of the Frost Dragon. Two, 4, 6, 8. 8 mana. That's enough to cast probably almost anything in your deck, if not anything in your deck. Seagate Restoration, they're just drawing cards. Don't have an answer to my kitty cat? That's just a bauble. Any bounce spells? There's 1 mana removal. There is, like, Swords to Plowshares. I want 2 of these. And we swing in for 15, and it wins us the game! Eat it, Urza! I mean, good game. Eat it, Urza. Tridal of Baldur's Gate is actually different in Arena than in Paper because you do not need to pay for his on-attack ability. When you attack, one of your creatures becomes unblockable. And if Tridal happens to hit a player, they lose a life, mill a card, and then you gain a life and scry! This is an awkward hand because our lands are this and this, but we do have Avacyn's Pilgrim. What I have to hope, though, is that they do not have, like, a turn 1 Thoughtseize, because then they could make me drop this. And that would make me sad. Avacyn's Pilgrim. High five. 1,000-faced Shadow, a ninja. See if we can just double spell here. Dauntless Dismantler and the Giver of Runes. Dauntless Dismantler is a new Hate-Bear. Makes artifacts enter tapped. Can also be sacrificed to destroy artifacts of a specific mana value. Ooh, ninjutsu time. Prosperous Thief is going to hit and make a treasure, which they can use to recast the 1,000-faced Shadow. Or not. That's cool too. Oh, right, because the treasure comes in tapped. I remembered the text on my cards, definitely. Now that I've got to 4 mana, Yasharn is going to help me fill my hand back up. I'll just chill. We can protect our various cards here. Cridle. They can make this unblockable, since they did play Cridle. Get another tapped Treasure. How many enter the battlefields do I think they're gonna have? You haven't entered the battlefield. Hellish Norn. Do the thing. Swinging with the pig. So Hellish Norn is going to double our enter the battlefield, including things like Exile or Landfall. And it's going to make it so their enter the battlefields, like 1,000-faced Shadow, if it gets ninjutsu'd in, won't do anything. The Thief goes in, it attacks alone. Can't be blocked. And a ninjutsu now costs 1 less. This is definitely a ninjas deck. Ninjas as led by a rogue. Scoot Swarm. Get 2 insect tokens. Touch the Spirit Realm. You exile Cridle and the Prosperous Thief. Go to combat and swing in with our 2 4-power buddies here. And win the game. GG, Kreidel. Tyvar, Jubilant Brawler, the himbo who can untap things and bring them back from the graveyard. Also gives them pseudo haste. You can activate abilities even if your creatures have summoning sickness, which is kind of grody. I'll go for a turn 1 Esper Sentinel, a classic. Trying to make it so our opponents have to pay the 1 to have some fun. And now I can play either Paladin class, Fateful Absence. We got choices here. Kind of like hitting the Loam Speaker. Because it means that even if they get a land and try to play Tyvar, I'll be drawing a card. Oh, the War Master! Oh, is this a Tyvar Elves deck? Interesting. I'm going to hit the War Master because I'm well aware of how wide that card can get. Every time an elf enters the battlefield for the first time each turn, you get another elf. A lot of elf. This is not an elf. This is just a good card. Augur of Autumn. Laws of Heroes. And the Pig. Now you can't sacrifice that clue I gave you. Grab ourselves a forest and grab ourselves a plains. They have 5 mana since there's no lands in the graveyard. Do you pay the 1? They do not pay the 1. They're minusing, seeing what they can get out of the graveyard. Just the guy who's already in there, Llanowar Loam Speaker, who can be tapped for mana. And was tapped for mana for Freyalise, who can untap. And also buffs any elves and an elf in their hand. If they have an elf in their hand, which I assume they do. Ooh, do I want to go for Pawk or Elspeth Conquers Death? I'm going to Conquer Death right now. But Pawk, next turn, I want you to come out and give me more mana. Hitting this or this, I think, are both good ideas. Right now, they don't have Coven. Would you like to quadruple block? Oh, just jump. Okay. They have lands in the graveyard, so they can get additional mana. What you doing? Can't sacrifice that. Yasharn says you can't sacrifice things. Yasharn says no sacrificing, which is probably a major theme of your deck. One of my favorite cards to use with Tyvar is Priest of Forgotten Gods, the one that lets you sacrifice 2 creatures to make your opponent sacrifice. Gets real good real fast. Dryad's Revival to bring back Nykthos, because it can generate a lot of mana. Untap the Loam Speaker. Ooh, a hoof. Play Pawk here. Make some extra copies of this overgrown farmland. Use it for Boromir. Next turn, land, hoof. Should work out just fine. And I'm also going to put an upkeep stop because I might just sacrifice Boromir if they don't give me a reason to do it on my turn to bring it back. I only want to do it, though, if this Deathrite Shaman can't exile it in response. That's a lot of green mana. You have a creature? They could sacrifice Tyvar. Oh, it's Bellatrix! She can untap your lands, but it costs 10 life. She also makes a little guy every turn. Your lands. They're all lands. They can now all tap for mana. Galgreer. So the Deathrite Shaman can now not sacrifice. Oh, right. I also can't sacrifice. Yasharn. Yasharn prevents me from sacrificing Boromir. But that's fine. Because I have a hoof. You should attack, definitely. Can they pay life? No! They can't untap their lands because they can't pay life. Some of these, some of those, one of these, one of those. Getting extra lands. And hoofing it. We'll swing in with everybody. They do have a 13/13, so they can prevent a good amount of damage. But trample still does trample stuff. So numbers go... lethal. Numbers go lethal. GG. How you doing, Sovereign Okanek Ahau? This is a Scales commander that makes all your creatures bigger when he attacks in if they already have buffs. A fellow Selesnya card that's very, very different from Yasharn. I can open the Fabled Passage while their dinosaur gets lowered into play. I like this hand. It's got early ramp in it. And then big ramp. Oh, and now we have a player hater. Halfling makes their commander uncounterable. Not that I have counter spells. I'm actually not running Mana Tide. I'm running Smothering Tide, which makes treasures that we can't actually sacrifice if Yasharn is out, but still annoying for our opponents to deal with. Here comes Okanekahau, but no buffs yet. I have a choice here between playing my commander, playing the Oracle, or just holding up mana for Get Lost. I'm going to go with the holding up Get Lost. This has Ward 2, so I have to be able to pay the 2. Legacy Moose, thank you for the 3-month resub. Ooh, a Siege Veteran. This is not a soldier, it is a noble. A little noble meow meow. Get out of here, you meow meow. You can still try and put a counter on something or draw a land. They explore using the maps. Get a Restless Prairie. Cool. Oracle of Moldiah. That's a Defense of the Heart. Okay, spicy. Play the lands in my hand. Defense of the Heart says, you got 3 creatures? Cool, 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 cool. I get 2 creatures from my deck, too. Not a cool card. I actually don't think this should begin Historic Brawl. I don't find it that fun in this format. I could double block this Siege Veteran. I'd be sacrificing probably the Oracle here. Since I have something really big to ramp into, I'm going to keep this as is. I'm also going to lead with Yasharn. So I can shuffle my deck since I want to play lands off the top of my deck. Boop. Boop. It comes in tapped. Well, I need my lands to come in untapped, so I can play Defense of the Heart. Defense of the Heart puts my opponent in a really awkward spot of they either have to get rid of their own creatures or force me to get rid of their own creatures, like by making their own battlefield lethal. You say, here comes the hoof. They're 1 mana short of a hoof. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But for me, oh yeah, for me, here comes the hoof. We have enough creatures that going for, like, hoof would be huge. Speaking of huge, their creatures are gonna get huge, too. We take it. They're saying good game. Good game. They have 3 or more creatures. We're gonna grab Norn and a Hoof. For the biggest buffins that we can find. Swing in, definitely more than lethal. GG. The first sliver, and likely the first and only sliver. The first sliver on cast Cascades, which means that it's pretty good on its own. It's even better because it gives other slivers Cascade too. but in Arena, it's usually just played as a card that costs 5, deals 7 damage, and gets a free spell. We do have a couple cards in our deck that can stop free spells, but we have to find them to use them. So we'll play some nice early ramp. We'll try and slow them down as best as we can. We'll have a good time fetching lands out of our deck and swinging with 1/1s. Dauntless Dismantler will make any mana rocks they have come in tapped, which is nice to slow them down a tiny bit. Anything that's graveyard related, the Skoos can eat. Ah! Boromir! Just in time. I'm actually not playing him this turn. He's going to be a lot better just once I think they're able to cast the first sliver. For now, he's going to chill in hand where he can't be hit by removal. Okay, well, you can be hit by some removal, but they don't have untapped black mana, so can't be hit by Thoughtseize. Arcane Signet comes into play tapped. Ooh, Thalia, my sweet. Tax them for me. I'm going to play Boromir this turn because there's a chance that they could play it out. And now, if they do play the first sliver and they cascade into a non-creature spell, they have to have 1 mana open or it doesn't work. Oracle of Moldiah lets them play lands. Ooh! Oh, is that a fetch land? A fetch land you can't activate? That is a Supreme Verdict on the top of the deck, though. We do have double white and blue. I might have to sacrifice Boromir for that. In we swing with a couple little friends. I guess the Dauntless Dismantler could have gone into. Can they still activate the Polluted Delta? No. Because they would have to pay a life. It's not about the sacrifice. It's about paying the 1 life. Oh, okay. They're going for the first sliver. Buddy, I don't know if you know this, but Boromir says no, and Thalia also says no. Legit, we got 2 hot babes out here just denying you that value. And this is Cascade, not Discover, so you can't just, like, put this there. I can't sacrifice Boromir, because we have this. They could have verdicted. They didn't. You're just gonna keep trying. Please, my Celestis. Why can't I play my Celestis? Arena's bugged! By the way, if you ever go to the bug report page for Arena, there's a ton of people who report interactions exactly like this. Like, the game is bugged! It didn't let me do the thing! No, the game actually didn't let you do the thing because you can't do the thing. And away we go. Nice. Unesh, a Sphinx commander. Unesh cares about Sphinxes, makes them cost less, and... Is it Factor Fictions when it enters the battlefield? Look at the top 4 cards to go... Well, you get to put them into piles, and some go in hand. Neat. That's Factor Fictions. Sweet, I remembered right. A Ledger Shredder. No Ledger Shredder. Yeah, there's not that many Sphinxes in Arena. There's a couple Shapeshifters, which can play pretty nicely with Unesh, though. Ralglegums. Yeah, that's not a Sphinx. I'm actually naming human. There are more humans in my deck than there are boars. I know what a boar. Are you going to exile my Peeg? They were holding priority there. A Nyx Lotus. That can generate a lot of mana. I curse thee, Unesh. Cryo-Sphinx Sovereign. And I give myself Hexproof. So you can't Rivers Rebuke me. It's a Sphinx! All artifacts go to hell. And all angels and boars go to heaven. GG. Itali, Primal Conqueror. His goal is to ramp and then get his commander into play, which then cast a card from each player's deck for free. You can also transform into the nasty, poisoning Bite Steel Colossus. So we're going to do our best to slow them down by naming Itali Primal Conqueror with our Curse of Silence. Gotta use up those fetch lands while you still can. People in chat are talking about how I have a lot of non-bows in my deck. Yes, absolutely. Unfortunately, a lot of Hate-Bears in Selesnya are based around self-sacrifice. And that just doesn't quite work. They're not. I'll exile that from your graveyard. Play the Tireless Tracker. I could have also gone for Yasharn this turn, but I wanted a clue! A clue! If you tap that Paradise Druid, I'm sending it to heck. Ward 2. You generate more mana than that, so I'm going to seal away the Hulking Raptor instead. I pay the 2. And I attack for 3. Hawk. Enemy number 1. I think that's a fair thing to say. Hawk is really scary. Ooh, I'm surprised they didn't save the Fabled Passage to crack on my turn. They must have something they want to cast for 2. Yasharn, grab me 2 lands. I can no longer sacrifice clues. Mythweaver Hawk, leave this place. I'm exiling one of your 2 Fabled Passages. And you can't sacrifice your clue either. We're both clueless. Okay, well, I have 3 clues. They're just chilling. Burn down the house. No! My cool stuff! At least they killed their own Paradise Druid! Loran, destroy their clue. Play Shadow Spear. I'm not going to equip it yet, though. I'm planning on just eating a clue. I can crack my clues now! God Pharaoh's Statue. Seriously? Right after I play Loran? God Pharaoh's Statue is a card I considered putting in this deck, because it is adequately rude. Yasharn, why do you cost so much gosh darn mana? I want to attack in. She feels pretty fun. Scoos. Not quite what I crave. Borrowed time. Okay, for next turn, that seems great. Give Loran the stick. Oh, this card is fantastic in Limited. It's also really fun in Commander for both parts of the text. Putting me in a tricky spot here. Where both all Gnawbones and the Scott-Fair statue are posing a problem. I'm gonna hit old Gnawbones, though. Sorry, ma'am. You cannot be allowed to persist. And I do want to try and find a land, so we both get to draw. The Mighty Might can take this out next turn. It will take 4 mana, but it does get me there. And Caldera Breaker. How many basics are in your deck? I'm sure a concerning number, and hopefully you don't have a way to kill this. Oh, only 6. All mountains. Sorry, it's not basics, it's mountains. This is not the most frightening version. There are decks built around Caldera Breaker that are just like, check me out, spitting out like 30 things at the same time. Hey, 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 Wire Might. Aha! Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I do have 8 drops in my deck. Not just you. Huh, there it is! Nick, did you get your jacket? Ooh, looking good.
Managed to get a parking ticket in the 10 minutes. I had money on the meter when I came in. Ooh, so 12.50? Hell yeah, that's just enough time for the place to open. In that 8-minute span when I got back. That's it.
Oh no.
This is why I don't drive.
I'm sorry, B. I'm sorry, sweetie. Nick got a parking ticket. I couldn't tell how much you guys could hear of it. Oh, they got some ramp. I wonder if they'll choose to sacrifice this. I imagine they have, like, Llanowar Elf still in their deck. Where did he get a ticket? Where was this place? What town is it in, I should say?
It's in Boston. Like next to
Boston. I know the area. One-ones! With no extra abilities! Sorry, I already cast it. You would have had to done it before. Alright, cool. So those are 1-1s now. Little tiny babies, little tiny babies. He parked the car at Boston Common. Overwhelming Splendor is a pretty good card. Turn Timber to Symbiosis. Oh, look! They got a 1-1! They do get this flipped over. But it's also, a 1-1. I'm going to see what's in their hand to start things off. Okay, so none of these do anything here, since, you know, Splendor. I want Chaos or Predictability. I'll go for Predictability this turn. Make sure I get some critters. Just in case. It's overwhelming. It is overwhelming. Overwhelmingly unfun. I'm surprised they're searching for lands here over cycling. Am I at lethal yet? One second, I gotta use the hoof calculator. Right. Hoof 4. Yeah, that should be lethal. Only 3 can attack. Perfect. And we win through a combination of disgusting 8 mana cards. GG. Admiral Brass, unsinkable. A very strong commander, in part because she brings back pirates from the graveyard, which she puts there. Bigger, faster, stronger. This hand's a little weird. It does have something I really want on turn 1, but then it just doesn't have anything else. Part of the cards, though, we're gonna get there. Something that Grixis, these colors, are not that good at dealing with is enchantments. So, getting down the Curse of Silence, cursing Admiral Brass. Unsinkable. It's gonna be the name of the game here. So now, she doesn't cost 5, because at 5, gosh, she's hard to deal with. She costs a lot more. Normally, I don't do this, by the way. I'm going to name Elemental, so I can play Pock. Usually I name Human on Cavern of Souls in this deck because we have more humans than anything else. But I think it's really important that I get down this so I can get more mana. They haven't played anything for me to exile, so I'm just going to chill with my Aven Mind Sensor. Hey, Malcolm. How you doing? You're a bird, huh? And a pirate? That's cool. I'm a bird and a wizard. Bird violence once again. You love bird violence. That's all the kids talk about is bird violence. Aether Gust? Okay, I don't have more mana, so I'm gonna keep your sword on top. A little risky. Fine. Go to hand. And again. Yasharn. Who is out here playing Aether Gust? In historic Brawl! In this economy! That's not even a pirate! Is this just Grixis control with, like, a few pirates in it? Admiral Brass, by the way, is extremely powerful. She's so good. I don't know why you would, I don't know, betray yourself by taking away the beautiful power of pirates. Like, I mean it. This is a really good card. Even better with pirates. All right, I can let Malcolm hit me one more time. See if we can get a land. All right, cool. Got a land. Easy. Done it. None. Picking up Malcolm. Kaito? Kaito? Guess just our Grixis good stuff deck. I guess it was just luck they happen to have a pirate, huh? Show me your secrets. Look! It's a pirate! It's a pirate who can tap things. Dreamcaller Siren comes into play, taps these down so Ms. Brass can swing in and they can draw a card. Peacekeeper's making it so this costs 2 more. By the way, a Peacekeeper can name Planeswalkers, and it does make their abilities cost 2 mana to activate. It's a pretty nasty thing you can do. Anyway, 2 command towers. It's a pretty nasty thing that you can do. I'm going to go back to cursing Brass. Curse you, Beckett Brass! Unsinkable. Nine damage. Do I even care? I care enough. Now, if any pirates happen to think they can go into the graveyard all willy-nilly, I'm ready to stop them. Just kidding, that's a memory lapse. Tireless Tracker. I wasn't actually planning on playing this turn. Or would have done it before the lands. I'm gonna sneeze. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Make a might. And say good night. I'm not real. I can't be touched. These sirens, again, cannot block any of these ground-based creatures. They still swung in. Oh, for Rune Raider. I hope you draw a 10-cost card. Put Ulamog in their hand. It would be funny. Because they attacked this turn, they do have the potential to lose life. It was 2 cost, and it's something they can actually cast, but it's something that will immediately die upon being cast. Yasharn, finish them! Yasharn finishes them. Good game! The first sliver. Okay, so for people who are watching me record this, they know that about half of all the decks we've matched up against have been first sliver decks. And for the people who are watching this as a recording, well, I've edited most of those games out because the first sliver is just so incredibly boring. I don't really like playing against 5-color good stuff cards. And, well, I've just been, like, conceding on turn 0. There's just so many of them. But the game clearly wants me to play against first slivers for some reason. So we'll play against the first sliver, which I assume is going to be the first and only sliver. Maybe, just maybe, this will actually be a 5-color slivers deck. It's just like, just imagine. Imagine if that were the case. That would be beautiful. That would be beautiful. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana all set up now. Good news, the Haywire Might can take out the key to the archives. The bad news is that costs a mana, so I can't also play Thalia. Still totally worth it. See what they discard. Oh, I would play both of these in a 5-color sliver decks. They're just good fixing and preventing counterspells on your 5-color commander. Pretty good. Jokes. I'll swing with these 2. I will exile the key to the archive. Look for Tithe Taker over Giver. Five mana, enough for the first sliver, and they cascade into Black Market Connection. Hold up! That's a sliver card! It makes slivers! it makes slivers. It still could be. We gotta hold on for hope that 1 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sliver decks is actually a sliver deck. We could be witnessing history. That's a Godfair statue. Okay, backing off a bit. Probably not. Okay, excuse me. Mr. First Sliver, sir. I'm the one who taxes. You don't. I tax. Oh, they made a treasure. Play a sliver. Play a sliver, I dare you. They didn't even pay the 6, no. Okay, that was from their key to the archive. An approach of the second sun. That puts me on a clock. Okay, this would get me a 6 drop. If I play this first, it gets me a 7 drop. Yasharn costs 7. She's pretty sexy. But I'd rather wait for 8. Going to swing in here. Wait, you're colorless. Ugh. I guess I can go for a trade. Block! Should have done on Thalia. That's fine. I'll eat the other land out of their graveyard. These are not all colors. Make a treasure. Make a treasure you can't use. Tapped creature. Drew a card. No treasure. Oracle the Elf. Wait, but that shuffles the approach. Selvala taps for a lot of mana. But, okay. Give me the hoof. Oh, we hit Splendor. So it's a 50-50 for us. We have 2 8-drops in the deck, I think. Wait, no, we also have big Vorinclex. They're swinging in with the first sliver and their chicken nugget. I will block with Tithe Taker and give it protection from the black. You have a lot of mana. Okay, that's a Mox. That's a Moxen. Relic of Legends. Sure. I'm going to kill Selvala. Give them a clue that they can't crack. They'll never solve this mystery! You can't crack it. Yasharn. And now everyone is 1/1s. Everyone is funds. Everybody but the giver. Is it first sliver their commander just because of the cascade ability? Yes. Yes, it is. It's really unfortunate because it means that first sliver decks are all really samey and kind of just playing the same good stuff you find in every other deck. But the reason why people play the first sliver over, just as an example, Golos, a much better 5-color commander if you ask me, is because the first sliver matches against less powerful commanders. It's not in Hell Queue. So, yeah, it's playing against people like me and my Yasharn deck. Good game. Amy and Scraps versus Zeotora the Incinerator. I have an okay start. I don't have a third or fourth land. We do have a little bit of early hate. We have a blink, and hopefully we'll get to this. Am I willing to keep it? No, I think it's too risky. Alright, this is going to be a little bit better. We definitely have 4 lands. Definitely have a little kitty who's so pretty and getting 1,000 head scritches. Gonna make me all allergic, aren't you, Scraps? The blood-stained mire. So Zeotora is all about sacrificing things, but she also might get hit by some of Yasharn's passive here. The players can't pay life or sacrifice non-land permanents to cast spells or activate abilities. Oh, we're getting mind spiked. All while I get all itchy from my cat being up in my face. Who's a good cat? Who's a good cat? Who's a good cat? It is that. Oh, there she goes. I can't see the board screens. Oh, tail on the microphone. That's some ASMR right there. You guys like it? Is that what you crave? Scraps, don't knock down the frog. You gonna leave? My little snooty booty? Bye, girl. Love you. Yasharn, I don't believe would stop Zeotora from playing stuff, but they should have other sacrifice things in their deck, not just super high power stuff. I do expect to see some things like in a Zeotora deck, like I guess Yargle and Multani would be a good example. Oh, we're getting edicted. We still get to tax something from their hand, though. Okay, they have a Board Wipe and Rune Blaster. I am going to tax the Rune Blaster, because that is land removal. And I don't want my lands removaled. Oh, Throat Gophers. Almost as good as my kitty on the floor. Girl. Get some more lands. This one and that one. One more and they'll be able to kick the goblin to destroy my non-basic land. Invasion of Gobakon. Guess we can tax something else. Oh, like a Tali. That is a very good card to be taxing. Prosperous Innkeeper. Get them a treasure. Play Yasharn again. Overfill my hand with lands. Just thinning them out. So I'm more likely to get the goods. Oh yeah, they can't use the treasure if Yasharn is out. Can't sacrifice it. It's against the rules. Languish to kill theirs and mine. Behold, the tithe taker. He's taken tithes. Yes, you are so cute. Yeah, do you want more head scritchies? He's just on the floor next to me, like, please. I don't want to be on camera, but I do want my head to get scritched. Why am I not playing the Fabled Passage? I do have some landfall stuff in the deck, so I'm saving it just in case. So long as I have all this extra land. And I'm not playing Ardenvale because I don't want it to be destroyed. But land won't be destroyed if all card is 1/1 with no extra abilities. I've solved the riddle! We knew they had an Infernal Grasp on top of their deck. Theodora's a little guy. Just a little guy. July. Give me Hexproof. Curse of Silence. I'll actually just name it Tali since he's over there. ETALI. Primal Conqueror. And now their creature doesn't have an ability. So I feel fairly safe playing that down there. Splendor is a very, very strong card. And part of its inclusion in this deck is the unfortunate... Selesnya is only so strong, so sometimes you gotta play these super brutal cards. And it does kind of fit into the, like, taxy, staxy, nasty game plan. And it's enough to shut down their probably mostly creatures decks. They have kill spells. They had a board wipe. They used it for one creature before. But they can't get past the Splendor. Linvala, Shield of Seagate. A party commander. And also a board wipe prevention commander. She can be sacrificed to give all your creatures hexproof or indestructible. But she also gives a buff to your party if they're a party. They gotta be a full party, though. If you have a full party at the beginning of combat in your turn, you can choose a non-land permanent an opponent controls. And it can't attack, block, and activated abilities can't be activated. Pretty nice. And they already have a rogue for their party. She is a wizard. It's actually pretty sweet that she's a wizard because I feel like wizards are the hardest one to come by in white, but there's plenty of them in blue. Paladin class. I guess I should have led with that. In case they're playing more things with flash. Like this. With the Spectral Adversary. I will... That's not a wizard. Or a rogue. Or a cleric. Or a warrior. Maybe it's just flyers. Okay. I'll put Linvala in jail. And attack. For 1 or 2? 2. Four mana now. Feel a pretty kitty on the ground. Oh my gosh, Scraps. Scraps, do you want to come up? No, you look like you're gonna run away if I try to pick you up. You're so good, girl. You're so good. I'll play the pig. Oh, he did not tap the halfling, and I didn't play the Cavern of Souls. If this gets countered, I'll be a little upset with the game. Alright, good. It resolved. You have to manually tap that stuff. Got something flashy to bring out? Nope. Cool. Scraps, come here. Come on. My cat is on the floor and needs attention. Right now. Needs attention right now. Needs attention right now. Okay, she left. Okay. What's happening in this game? Oh, Linvala's back! Woman. Henge. Tapping this for colorless to leave up white mana. Bop and Linvala, they'll gain some life. Swinging in for 4. Now they got 2 rogues in this party. Rogue 1, Rogue 2. Build a forest. Build a couple of fun things, too. We investigate. I can't crack the clue, but I can level up Paladin class. And again. What if they unsettle the wreckage? Guess we'll find out. They don't. Good game. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Brawl Stars. I hope you liked watching me bring home the bacon with Yasharn and our various prison pieces. The pig prison is a pretty tough thing to beat, especially when you start landing the big Praetors or Portals or Splendor. All of these big high-cost cards that we can ramp into using the lands given to us by our commander. This is a pretty fun deck to play, and it's tricky to play, in part because it has a lot of non-bows with its own cards. I know, I get it, it's still really fun. Thank you so much for watching, and have a brawlful day!